Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today and Tarot. My name is Melrose, and I'm here to share the day's astrology with you with a little help from Tarot. This is the Tarot portion, or the second half of my daily astrology post, which you can find on my other channel called Astrology Today with Melrose. Here, I will discuss the tarot card that sits on the side of the page, do a quick review of today's astrology, and then play another card that may give us something more to think about. So, let's get into it. The tarot card that currently sits on the side of the page is the Two of Cups. And the Two of Cups is there because it relates astrologically directly to the first 10 days or the first decan of the sun's transit through the sign I almost said Scorpio there, Cancer. So, uh, Cancer is a water sign, cups are water in tarot, and water element, when we're talking about water element, we're talking mostly about our feeling life, our emotional selves, how it feels to be in our hearts, our minds, and our bodies, what we are like when we're with people that we're close to. Also our intuitive capacities is engaged there, and our creative capacity, our literal fertility is part of those watery vibes as well. So Two of Cups here, we have a couple of people, a pair of people, apparently coming from different places or different habits or attitudes, just sort of based on the way they're dressing. Okay. And it's sort of a two becomes one vibe, right? There are two people here who have a lot of mutual regard. They like each other or they love each other. This could be a marriage or an engagement or just, like, hey, do you want to move in together? But it doesn't have to be a romantic card at all. It can have to do with somebody that you really enjoy working with and you're working on a project with them or you're doing business with them. And it could have to do also with a friend that you've grown close to, or family member that you have a close bond like this with. But it's almost as though the two people have so much honor and respect and regard for one another that they can kind of act as one another. They can act together as one person. Okay, so it's a unification vibe, and it's a unification based on positive emotional bond. And there's a caduceus here that almost looks like a lightning rod, sort of communicating that fiery red lion energy. Lion Leo, that's a fixed fire energy, and then I see those wings, and for some reason I think of Mercury. So, sort of the slow burn is part of that, and also the communication vibe is important. When imbuing these relationships with some sort of formality, right? And once we imbue a relationship like this with a certain formality, then there's a future, in the offing. There's a future security that we might build together if we can remain engaged in that relationship in good faith. And with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and shuffle my cards and remind myself in the cards that the sun is in Cancer. Sun in Cancer these are the hottest days of the year, friends. It's cooled off for us a little bit over here, but I wouldn't be surprised if it heats back up next week. Great that it's the cardinal water sign. This is a time when we are very active. The sun is at its culminative point. It is the outer life is our major focus at this time of year because there's just so much daylight and there's so much fun stuff we can do and work we can get done and connecting with others we can do. It's a good time to get down to the water, to splash in the lake or the river or the pool. It's a good time to cool ourselves with water. It's a good time to be paying attention to our hydration, especially if you're in a very hot climate. So that's Sun and Cancer vibe. Cancer being cardinal water initiates connection, initiates nurture and support and even protection of those people and things that it takes into its care. And also transiting in Cancer at this time is the asteroid Sappho. We've been talking about different asteroids as we've gone through the week this week because there are like 5 of them that are currently in Cancer with the sun. Sappho is an asteroid that relates especially to the arts and literature, specifically as it arises from feminine culture. So Sappho you may be interested to know is one of the first heavenly bodies that is named after an actual living historical figure. A Sappho was a Greek poet who was particularly appreciated by the women, and I think, lived on the Isle of Lesbos. So make of that and that symbol what you will. But basically, it's really about the outward expression of affinity, that outward expression of how we share about the love we feel, or how we share about the attachment we feel, or the desire we feel in a public way. So, the things that we write, the poetry that we make, the songs that we sing, that kind of thing. How we behave in the public sphere. Okay, and then the moon starts out in Cancer this morning. It was in Cancer for the full new moon, and now we are past the new moon. It's starting to wax again. We're starting to get this energy of increase, and as we have begun to set our intentions, we move into Leo, and Leo is more of a fixed fire. I just talked about that. It really, brings that sustained energy toward meeting our goals. So the great thing about that is, in Cancer, we were able to sort of fantasize or dream, or just, wonder about, in this watery emotional way, what could be for us in the coming weeks and months. And now in Leo can look at those dreams that came up for us, or those intentions, and Leo can say, hey, yeah, let's make a plan out of that, right? Leo's good at getting that kind of stuff done, and good at appreciating the beauty in a plan, and also good at receiving appreciation. So it's a good time, to give and receive appreciation too when the moon is in Leo. But we're shifting from dreaming to planning, so that by the time we get to that first quarter moon next week, we will be ready to act on some pretty concrete plans. On the moon side of the page today, we have four aspects. Moon goes trine to Pluto, which is in retrograde. So this is about learning the truth, having the veil peeled away from our eyes, right? But it's also like set dreamy intentions that have a realistic bent. We can be thinking about what our fantasy is, even if we know that it's a fantasy now, even if we've just opened our eyes to the fact that our fantasy is a fantasy and not the reality. We can still know what our fantasy is, and we can set intentions that pull us closer to our ideal. Great time for that with Venus over here, sextile to Jupiter, and Sun square to Jupiter. We got to work with Jupiter, okay? Jupiter matches our effort. So whatever you put in, Jupiter is gonna show up with some good fortune because you showed up and you put it in. Moon goes square to Mars this afternoon. So this is, we can really feel assertive. We can feel like, we have the drive and the stamina to reach a goal, or we have the drive and the stamina to pursue something that we desire. But with that square, it can come in a little bit overeager, right? It can just come in a little irritable, or too fast, or perhaps, there's an idea like you're willing, Mars style, to sort of push your weight around to get what you want. And that causes pushback. That can create a problem. So just avoid being overeager. If you know what it is you desire, you also know, hopefully how to obtain it without pushing people around or anything like that. Moon goes in opposition to Pluto this afternoon. And, I'm seeing that as the crescent moon, the newly waxing moon, in opposition to Pluto, saying, here we are, we want to change our lives, right? This is why we set intentions and create goals, but we might encounter some internal conflict, or an opportunity to strike a balance, right? When it comes to shifting out of that dreaming phase into that planning phase. And maybe it's because we're still dreaming and we need a couple of days. So, if that's the compromise that needs to be made, then that's it. But a compromise can be made in terms of what it will take to get you over the hump from I'm dreaming about this thing to I'm actually planning to do this thing. And then we have a 4 hours void of course, 4.5 hours between 3 and 7:30 approximately. And that's a great time to dive into your intuitive practices, meditation, journaling, read your tarot, read your favorite book, whatever it is that helps you have those important conversations with yourself, whatever it is that helps you pause and reflect, this is a good time because the moon is between signs, and so it's less filtered as we try to get in touch with our hearts and how we feel. Moon makes ingress to Leo tonight at 7:39. Shine and soak up the glow of others. It's just a time to be ourselves, to be our loving, adorable, beautiful, shiny, opulent selves, right? Give our best and also appreciate others for giving their best. On the sun side of the page, in the ongoing column, Mercury is sextile to Chiron just through today. It's a good time to clear the air with somebody. If you have been in a standing disagreement with somebody, you might just have the charm and the capacity to give enough to clear the air with this person. Okay, so it's a great opportunity to mend fences. Venus is sextile to Jupiter while the sun is square to Jupiter. This is good fortune being ours while we call in the best of what it is that we can imagine for ourselves. Okay, whatever it is that that is part of that bigger, more elaborate plan for ourselves. That nicer, happier life that we hope for ourselves. We need to be identifying what the markers for success would look like so that we can start to attract them toward us. Venus is all about attracting resources, right? Drawing in the things that we like, love, and can't get enough of. And Jupiter is a giver. Jupiter will just say, yeah, sure. If you're focused on that, then that's what I'm giving you. Okay, so focus on the good stuff you want to draw in, not on the bad stuff you're trying to let go of. Okay. Waxing crescent moon, focus on the good stuff we want to draw in. We are in a mode of increase now. Mars sextile to Saturn, work, right? Like they work really well together. We've got this cooperative vibe. So I'm saying that there's whatever it is that we're working on right now in the inner or outer life, it's going to take a lot of labor. But we've got this really cooperative, driven, passionate vibe right now that's very focused on gaining personal stability. So do the work. Please do the work because it's taking you somewhere right now. That cooperative vibration is going to make something good come out of it. Pluto is retrograde, Saturn is retrograde, Neptune is retrograde. Saturn's retrograde is asking us, because it's in Aquarius, it's asking us, do the things you rely on as far as the structure of culture and society go, do the things that you rely on, the things that you lean on, are they reliable supports for everybody in culture or just some people? We don't want, we can't be dealing anymore with with things that only support certain people in culture. Everybody has to be supported and uplifted and given an opportunity to thrive. And that's what Saturn has us looking at in our own lives in terms of the things that we do and the things that we lean on in order to feel supported. Pluto in retrograde, endings and beginnings, and sometimes we're just not even aware of what's going on. But if it feels unsteady, or if you don't feel like yourself, or if you feel like you're questioning who you are, that would be normal for Pluto in retrograde, because we are going through changes on the inside into fundamental parts, even of our subconscious, of our psyche, the part of our psyche we can't get to. So. Or that we struggle to get to. Like, not everybody is so in touch with their inner self, like the truth behind the emotions, right? That we can just say, oh yeah, this is what's going on for me, okay? And that's okay. You don't have to be able to see it. You don't have to be able to know it. Just understand that you are going through changes. Other people are going through changes too. Let's take it easy on ourselves, give ourselves some grace, and give somebody else some grace too. Neptune in reverse, in retrograde in Pisces, is here to clear up any illusions that we're having about the way we are living or about the way we are going, any fantasy lives we've been living, any dream, any lies we've been living. The truth is going to come out. We're going to be able to tell the difference between what we hope something is and what it really is. And when the truth comes out and you see things for what they really are, I strongly advise just accepting that. Okay. Accepting that. That doesn't mean you have to let your dream die. It just means like perhaps this isn't the dream, or perhaps, the dream comes about in a different way. All right. With all of that said, I'm going to turn that card. We got the Knight of Rods again. Y'all, did you see that? Okay, I'm gonna mix these up just one more time. We won't get the Knight of Rods again, I'm pretty sure. Well, I'll do it 2 more times, but... All right, the 8 of Rods, I'll take that. Momentum, friends. 8 of Rods, fire, energy, passion, drive, sort of wind at your back vibration, okay? It's sort of, you know, you can just ease on down the road, whatever path that you are on right now. It is going to go really easy for you because you're feeling inspired, you're feeling driven, you're feeling passionate, you're feeling like you've got all of your stuff under control and moving in the right direction. So, you know, keep going. Keep going is the message there. Momentum as I shift from dreaming into planning. Momentum as I may seem a little overeager at times this afternoon. Momentum as the moon goes into Leo, and we get this sort of a slow burn, this sort of fixed drive to get things done. I love that. And momentum in all of this action with Jupiter here, you know, whatever you're putting in, Jupiter's going to put in too, okay? So as long as you're interacting with your highest ideal for yourself, as long as you're acting on and in the direction of your bigger, badder idea for yourself, you know, that good fortune is going to be coming in your way. This is sort of a wind at your back kind of combination here. This is good fortune, and we're able to call in the best of what we would like. Momentum with work, Mars sextile Saturn here just sort of puts us to work, but makes the going easy with it, right? Makes it cooperative and gives us a lot of drive and passion to get the job done. So yes, momentum. And then taken together with that 2 of Cups, you know, I'm going to say again that when we engage in, you know, look around you. Do you have a partnership like this in your life? Do you have a partnership? Well, do you have a potential partnership like this in your life? And remember, it doesn't have to be a romantic attachment, okay? It can be a friendly or familial attachment. It's just a matter of somebody that you have a lot of regard for, who has a lot of regard for you, and with whom you think you might be able to create something, right? And so if you've got that in your life, if you've got a partnership like that in your life, remain engaged in good faith in that partnership, okay? Continue to give that person your regard, continue to give them your respect, continue to honor them and to be honest with them and to act in their best experience interest, right? In the interest of their best experience. And as long as we keep doing that, we've got momentum on our side. We can create anything. We've got all the fire and passion here, all the drive, and we can, and it's, like I said, the wind at our back. So it feels like we could possibly do anything as long as we remain engaged in that relationship in good faith. Wow, yeah, that was quick. I'm going to see if I see anything else there. Really just that when you know, when you get together with this person, however you do it, you know, you're going to know what the potential is, you know, when you make the agreement, right? You're going to know what it is, or have some idea what it is that you seek to grow, what kind of outcome you intend to have, at least in the short term, if not in the long term. And you know, no telling where a relationship like this might take us in our lives. But you know, obviously, always just with a sense of regard for one another and respecting and honoring one another the best way that we can. But this just says, you know, go for it. It's another go for it card, just like that Knight of Wands that we got twice in a row. So I threw it away today, but it still says, go for it. It still says, okay, we've got momentum, we've got wands, we've got rods, okay. And that could be also a pretty sexy vibe too. You've got this moon trine Neptune that can be a little dreamy. You've got this Venus sextile Jupiter saying, you know, ask for more, ask for what it is you truly desire, ask for your biggest, most opulent desire, and seek to pull it toward you, and you might actually get it. Okay, I think that's all I have to say about it today, friends. Thank you so much for joining me here. I truly appreciate your presence. My name is Mel Rose, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today and Tarot.